All right, guys, welcome to a new week. I'm really excited about tonight's team huddle. We've got some people that are going to be sharing their stories and some tips. We just pulled some of the ladies that promoted in June and asked them to share with you guys tonight. So we're not having everyone that promoted last month. We will try to highlight everyone as the weeks go by, but we do have a few ladies on here tonight that are going to share. So make sure you guys cheer them on. It's always kind of nerve-wracking for some people to jump on here and share. So cheer them on in the chat as they share with you guys tonight. As just kind of an encouragement and a reminder, we are almost at the halfway part of the month. And some of you guys are probably super proud of the work that you've done in the last 12 days, and others of you had really good intentions on the 1st and it's the 12th and you don't know where the time went and you're starting to stress about the goal that you set for yourself on the 1st of the month. And I just want to encourage you guys that we have more than 50% of the month left. You can make the decision tonight that whatever's been holding you back, whatever plan you have had in place that you haven't been following through with, you can make the decision that it starts tonight, that you can go before you go to bed tonight, you can put something in place, you can do the work, because here's the thing, you can plan all month long on how you're gonna hit these goals, but at some point you just have to start doing the work, and it can be imperfect action, but you have to take action or you will make no progress. And a lot of times we wanna feel motivated before we start taking action. A lot of times the motivation comes from the action, because from the action comes results, and when you get results, you wanna continue to take action. Sometimes you just have to remove the feeling from it and ignore the I don't feel like it, or I'm tired, I don't really want to, and you just have to do it anyways. Because isn't that what most of us do at a normal job anyways, is we show up, we don't really want to go, but we show up because that's how we get paid. But here, you know that if you put in the work, it ends up being fun, and then you want to do more of it because you start seeing results and you start getting the enrollments, and that's fun, you guys, right? Having that harvest and watching your work pay off. So the halfway mark of the month is where a lot of people kind of just they get a little bit quiet, and then end of month comes and they realize they're X amount from their goal, and then they turn on, they put their foot on the gas, they turn on superpowers, or like they go crazy at the end of the month. If you guys would work the middle of the month like it was the end of the month, you will be so pumped on the 25th when you wake up and see where your charts are. Do not wait for all auto ships to run to see where you're going to be to decide how hard you're going to work at the end of the month. That is not a good way for you to make progress in your business. So, okay, that's enough of that. We're going to highlight some of these ladies. We're going to start with, who do I want to pick on? Who's on my screen? Okay, so we are going to start with two of our newest emeralds. So Ariana, you're picked because I can see you and I know you're thrilled about it. I just want you to share just like how long you've been in the business, a little bit about your life, and why you joined.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Ariana. I am an emerald as of last month.
Yeah,
I originally joined this business, mid-March of last year. So I've been in for about 16 months. And I joined about 3 months after my son was born because I was like, I can't send him to daycare because he is literally an infant. And so I just needed something that I could do from home around him on my own schedule and just make some extra money, help my fiance out with the bills. And so that's when I joined. I actually followed Lindsay for 2 years, ghosted her, didn't even tell her no, just didn't respond to her for 2 years. And then finally out of the blue, I just messaged her and I was like, hey, I'm ready to do this. So, yep.
Okay, so you kind of like all of a sudden, I mean, you've been consistent pretty much since you joined, but something changed like over the last couple of months. I don't know if it was just action or what happened. I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but is there anything that you want to touch on as far as like, did you have a mindset shift or?
Yeah, whenever I first joined, I like hit the road running. Like I think I joined in mid-March. I went ruby in May, was charted for emerald in June or July. And then I just like sat there until last month. And it was like, let's say I wouldn't say I was consistent, because if I was consistent, then I wouldn't have sat at Emerald. I mean,
Well,
at
you
Ruby.
didn't like give up or like
Right.
leave.
I didn't give up, but I definitely would like check out for like 2 weeks and then I'd pop back up and then I'd, you know, post and follow up and sign 4 or 5 customers and then I'd fall off again. And went to conference in January and it was amazing. And I expected like some magical thing to happen within me and it didn't. But I was like, oh, well, maybe there's there's not any magic. It's just doing the work and being consistent, and set my sight on double diamond in January for the end of March. Obviously did not do that, but you guys, I didn't put in the work to get to double diamond. Like I was not posting consistently. I wasn't posting at all. I wasn't messaging. It was just, I was just going through some stuff. So finally pulled my head out of my butt. And, you know, I messaged Alyssa and Lindsay and I was like, help me, like I'm stuck. So they were awesome. And I just got tired of it. Like I was like, this sucks. So started just being consistent with everything. Host to post. That's all I did. Host to post every day. So
I love it. And I saw Grace said this in the chat, but like your story is so relatable because everyone has been there pretty much at some point. And, you know, I don't know if the odds would be half, but a lot of people will be like, this sucks. Like, I'm so sick of being at this rank and it's been this amount of time and I should be here by now. And they either make the decision that they're so sick of it that they're willing to do the work to change it, or they use that as an excuse of a way to say, well, this just isn't for me, or this just isn't the right company. Well, no, that has nothing to do with the company or the opportunity. It has to do with the work that you're putting in and the mindset that you have. So super proud of you. Okay, so what's your goal for the rest of 2020?
Double diamond by December.
Yes,
Like it's still on my 2020 vision board. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do it.
I love it. Okay. All right. Last thing, just share. I know you kind of already have, but share any business tip that you have or tip for a promotion month, whatever you want.
So 2 big tips. Don't play the comparison game because it's going to kill you every time. I did that. And it's okay, guys, if, you know, the girl in Success Squad, whatever, is just booming, promotes to diamond in 2 months or 3 months. Like, that's not your story, and it's okay. Like, I'm glad I didn't go double diamond when I did because I wasn't ready for it. My mindset was messed up. I wasn't ready to lead a double diamond team. So God has his own timing, trust it, and then put in the work and just, you know, take your path. And then also, y'all are not gonna like me for this, but get up in the mornings. Like, seriously, I just finished Miracle Morning and I'm a morning person and I know what it can do, not just for your business, but for your life. But it was almost like a refresher of like, okay, so I'm starting my 5 a.m. mornings this week. You can get so much business done, like get your work done, but also do some mindset, grow your mindset, listen to a podcast, read or journal, just do something, because I promise you, when you start your day off like that, it's an absolute game changer. Like, anytime my business has done a 360, it's because I just started getting up in the morning and working, especially if you have kids. Like, get up. You have to.
I love it. I was just telling Lindsay earlier, I'm like, I was getting up at like 5:30 and that was hard for me. And it wasn't enough. I started waking up at 5 because Jackson's an early riser. I'm like, I have to do it because that gives me, no matter what, I always have a solid hour for me and for work and for God. And it makes a huge difference. And even though I'm getting up earlier, I feel better all day long because of that hour in the morning. So I love it. Thank you, friend, for sharing. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to pop over to Sarah, who also went Emerald last month. If you'll just kind of share the same, when you got started, and why you joined.
Hey guys. All right, first off, sorry I look like a total mess. We're in Galveston for the weekend and we've been at the beach all day, so I look horrible. Sorry. So yeah, I just went Emerald last month. I started in December of 2019. And I started because I had my daughter in August 2019. We have 2 boys that we adopted December of 2018. So we kind of started a family really fast. We had the 2 boys in, 2018. Then we found out 2 weeks later that I was pregnant. So it went quickly. We became a family of 5 really fast. I was a full-time, I was a teacher, and it was time for me to go back to work, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to leave my baby girl at home in daycare. I ended up going back to work. She did not do good in daycare at all. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't sleep. She was screaming all the time. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to change. So, I decided to join, and it took me a while to get going. But I have found my groove in things, and I'm absolutely loving it. So.
Yeah, you've been consistently a top enroller the last couple of months, and same with Lauren Oppel. I told her the other day, it's so crazy because like when you first start, your goal is, I just want to get a couple customers every month, and then your goals change as you get in that groove. You prove to yourself what you're capable of. So I'm like, that you can sign 30 people in a month because you've done it. But when you start, you're like, I just hope that I can sign 1. And then you just kind of keep blowing your mind. So I love it. It's been really fun to watch. Okay, so what is your goal for the rest of 2020?
Double diamond for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to hit that diamond within the next, month or so, and then definitely double diamond by the end of the year.
I'm going to ask you something. So is everyone on your team, like you went emerald, so like everyone on your team is working, right?
No.
Okay.
I have one who kind of half works. She works when she wants to, and that's okay. But no, I've done all that alone.
I just wanted everyone to hear, because I have a feeling, and maybe some people will share in the chat, but I have a feeling that there's people on here thinking, well, I can't go ruby, or I can't go emerald, or I can't go diamond because XYZ, or these people are not working on my team. And I'm here to tell you guys that we all have that, and it can be frustrating, but you will find your people. You will. But the cool thing about our company, opposed to a lot of other companies out there, is that you can actually still rank up, and you actually a lot of times will get paid more because you were the one doing the work. So I love that we even have the option, because there are a lot of companies where you can't, place and do all that stuff. So I knew that would be a relatable part of your story, because I know we have some people shaking their heads like, yep, been there, So I get it. All right, share 1 or 2 business tips that you have for everyone tonight.
Definitely HAPs. Get your HAPs up every single day. And with me, a lot of it was just finding your pockets of time to fit the business in. Being a mom of 3, and especially when school shut down, I literally had all 3 kids at home, trying to do school, take care of a newborn, trying to do the business all at the same time. So finding those pockets of time, in between naps, or or after dinner, sometime. My husband works nights, so I'm also got kids at night by myself too. So 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm working hard. In the morning, I'm getting up and working in the morning. During nap time, I'm working during nap time. So you just have to find those pockets of time.
I think everyone would agree that you are super busy having you're new to mom life with 3 children. So you really threw that in there. But I'm kind of like you. I wake up early and I get a lot of my output so that it's easier to respond in the pockets of time. Because otherwise, if you're saving like the bulk of your work for like the 20 minutes here and there, it's much harder. Like I find that if you can get a solid hour somewhere during your day, you truly can squeeze in the rest of the business, because the rest of it's just responding to stuff. So I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. I'm so proud of you. It's been so fun to watch. Okay, so we've got a few brand new rubies on here tonight, and some stories I'm really excited for you to hear. Robin, I see you first, so I'm going to call you out. Jump on here, share a little bit about your story, when you joined, and why.
Hi, y'all. I am Robin. I joined in April of 2017. Lindsay is actually my leader. So whenever I first joined in, I originally had moved back home and I didn't have a job. I had just had my son and I was moving back to Marshall and I didn't have a job. But in order to get a job, I needed for my son to go to daycare, but I couldn't afford daycare because I didn't have a job. So Lindsay had reached out to me and I asked a ton of questions and I was like, I don't really have the money for this. Like any money I had, I really needed to be saving. Um, but she stayed in touch with me. I just kind of led her on for like a few more months and I was genuinely interested, but I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I didn't sell anything. Like in high school, I would eat all the chocolate bars instead of selling them. Like I was like, I am not cut out for this. So finally, I gave it a shot. I had just gotten my tax return actually, and I told her I was like, on Friday, I will get my tax return. Message me, and she did bright and early that morning. And I was like, oh crap! Like she actually stuck with it. So I went ahead, I enrolled. Whenever I first joined, what I thought was working hard was, posting occasionally. And I was like, I'm not really good at this, but I kept trying. I would maybe enroll, 3 customers a month, maybe, on a good month. And then I ended up getting pregnant again and I had my second son. Well, I had a bunch of health issues. So I took some time away and got everything together, had to get mentally, prepared. And I found myself like really missing the business. Like I would see, all of my upline and all of my other team posting. And it was one of those things where it was like, I miss this, and I actually talked to Ariana before I got back in and she was like, I didn't know you were with, It Works. And I was like, yeah, sorry. Like I don't ever post, I've been taking some time away. And she's like, well, keep pushing. Like you got this. Progress over perfection. And so I took a few more months. Once I got back on my feet and got everything situated, I reactivated my account and I reached out to Lindsay and I was like, I'm ready. Like I'm ready. And ever since then, I've kind of just hit the ground running. There's no holding me back really at this point. And it's just been up from there.
It's been so crazy. I mean, you jumped in like 2 months ago, jump back in. And in that time, I mean, completely built yourself to Ruby, got over 2,000 GV that you needed to hit it pretty much entirely on your own, which is crazy to go from someone a couple years ago that was signing, 2 to 3 customers. And then literally you just dove into host to post, right? And like just started doing the work. So
that's crazy. Exactly what I did. Host to post definitely changed my business. I will say that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so what's your goal for the rest of 2020?
I would say my goal is diamond. I'm currently pushing for emerald. And by the end of the year, I would like to be at diamond. Actually, I'm going to be a diamond. I'm not gonna I'm going to be a diamond. I have 2 little boys. I'm a single mom of 2 boys, and they ask for a lot, and they're kind of expensive, honestly. So I'm pushing for them. I want to be able to, stay home with them and see them grow, not have to depend on, my family to get them back and forth to school. I'd rather stay here with them and keep the boys here with me because right now I am working, 50 to 60 hours a week, and it's kind of tiring, especially when you have to come home and deal with 2 boys. So I would love to be able to just stay home with them.
So single mom raising 2 boys, working 50 to 60 hours a week outside of this, correct?
Yes.
And still killing it. Just want to make sure I understand, right?
Yes.
That's what's going on. Okay. I'm just making sure. That's amazing. Okay. Do you have any business tips for people on here watching?
Honestly, I would say the 3 things that have really helped me this time around is, for one, staying in touch with my upline. At the beginning, I always ask questions. Like, that's just me. I ask a lot of questions, and Lindsay can account for that. But anytime I have a question, I know she may not answer me right then, but she's going to answer me. Like anytime I need anything, I can reach out to anyone on my team, and someone will give me some guidance, some help. So I don't ever feel like I'm like kind of in it by myself, because I know that I have those support systems, behind me, pushing me, wanting to see me be successful as well. And then I say another thing that has really helped me is working every day like it's the last. few days of the month, not just working those last 5 or 6. Because I would say in the beginning, I would set my goal to like at least hit my steps of success. But instead, it's like, I'd say whenever I first joined back in, I wanted to double them. And I was like, that's too easy. So now each month I have a goal set for myself where I want to try to enroll at least 1 customer a day. If it has 28 days in the month, I want to aim for at least 28 customers. And if I get that, awesome. I'm going to keep pushing past it. So work every day like it's the last day of the month versus just those last few days. And then host a post. Get them up, get them up, get them up, get them up. Because all I'd say in the past 2 months, anyone I've signed was probably from a host a post or just a few people that I've talked to in the past. But for the most part, host a post. Get them up as many as you can a day.
So good. It's crazy because I like hearing from people that were in the business just a couple years ago. And it's not that people weren't like mass enrolling then, that there weren't like exceptions of people signing, you know, a customer every day. But you didn't hear people setting that as a goal. But host a post makes that possible. Like there are multiple people on this Zoom right now that's their goal, is to get an enrollment every day. And I think that's so crazy to work for a company where people actually do that. Like brand new customers, not pre-orders, like brand new customers every single day. Like it's such a crazy time to be a part of this business. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing. It's been so fun to watch you kill it these last 2 months, and I'm excited to see you go diamond. Okay, who else do we have on here? We have, I forgot one of our emeralds because I wrote them out of order. Sorry about that. So we'll skip over to Jasmine because she's our other new emeralds from June. Hey, friend. Will you share just why you got started and when? Hopefully she's on here.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. I was like, I probably should have looked to make sure she was on here.
Okay, I'm a little nervous right now.
You're going to be so good. Just share when you started and why.
Actually, I started, it's going to be a year tomorrow, actually. And you said, why did I start?
Yeah. Why did you decide to join?
Well, at that time, it was, I think, my youngest daughter, because I have 4 daughters. My youngest daughter was just born in May, and I really did not want to end up having to go back to work full time. And at the time, I think my husband, his overtime got taken away. So I started looking for other things that I can do, whether it was something work from home, something like that. And I did see Alyssa's post like for 6 months, and I never reached out to her. I definitely got the itching to want to reach out to her, but I never did. And then I just felt that this one post that she posted one day, it just clicked that one day. So I reached out to her and I just asked her about the business, and she explained a little bit. I asked a little bit more, and I told her I wanted to think about it, talk it with my husband, see if this was something that I had time for, especially with having 4 children and dog and, a home to take care of that we had just, that needs a lot of work. So we've been doing a lot of the work ourselves. So just trying to see if I had the time for it. And I just decided I was going to do it, and I signed up.
Oops, I was muted. I love it. You're a busy mama too. We got lots of busy mamas on here killing it. I love it. What's your goal for the rest of 2020? I know you're pushing hard for diamond this month, so it can't be diamond.
No, no, actually it is double diamond. I was hearing that, with Ariana and Sarah, they both have very similar stories and, lifestyles than I do, with all the children having to deal with the scheduling. That's been the hardest part, has been trying to figure out my best timing with girls that are from ages from 1 to 12. It's like everybody is on different schedules. And so it's like, I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning just for me to even do anything for myself, whether that's like getting laundry done or something like that. So I definitely, my goals are just to try to reach out to get my messages out for HAPS, because that is my biggest, that honestly has been what when I've been promoting the past 3 months, is exactly what helped with all of my volume is HAPS. So get HAPS.
Yes, because you had a killer month with enrollments last month, and I know they're coming from HAPS, and I know we often talk about like finding a schedule and trying to figure out time and husbands and kids and like all the things. And I'm here to tell you that there's never like, tell all of you, not just you, Jasmine, but like there's never a perfect system. And as soon as you get one, it usually changes. Like your kids go through a sleep regression, or your job changes your hours, or COVID, or like, I mean, a million things. So just know, if you guys are on here feeling like you're a little bit scattered, like you never have the perfect schedule, and if you could just nail that down, that things would be better in your business, there might not ever be a perfect system for you. So you have to just find like a good chunk of time where you can get in your work, not scrolling, not getting on TikTok, but like doing your work and prioritizing things like Host to Post, which every single person has mentioned so far that has talked. So maybe do that, but prioritizing that and pushing away, you know, the things that maybe you feel like you need to do but are less important. Like posting is great, you guys. I mean, Jasmine said she saw one of my posts. That's one of the reasons that she joined, but Host to Post is where most of our enrollments are coming from. So Host to Post first, posting next. So finding your priorities and then making time for those things each and every day. Just share like a business tip that you have, or a promoting tip for everyone on here.
Mindset, big time. You're gonna get no's, like lots of them, but in between those, like those no's don't mean all the time that they're never going to buy from you. They will eventually buy from you, either that or they'll Host to Post, or they'll be at some kind of benefit. You can grab some friends from their friends, you know, you can grow your network from them. So you can always use every single person on your friends list for something, not use them, but you know what I mean, you know. But I definitely think, you know, mindset, because there are times where like, you know, I'll think about something. I'm like, you know, I'm not good at this. And I'm like, you know, I always catch myself. I have to, it's just part of me. I can't think like that. So I feel like you have to be intentional with your day. You have to be intentional with how you think. You have to be intentional with what you do. You know, intentional is literally my word for this month. And that's been something that has really been in my heart. That has been the only way that I've been able to keep my mindset right, you know, with no matter what's going on around.
I will just say something that I appreciate about you as like your sponsor is that when you reach out to me from a place of discouragement, or you like feel all over the place, or you haven't gotten the enrollments or the work done that you wanted to do, you always have a plan. It's always like, you don't ever come to me with just, I'm discouraged, or this is hard, or people are saying no. It's always like, this is what's going on, or this has been hard this week, but this is my plan, or this is my goal for today. Like today I'm going to sign 2 customers, or today I'm going to do this, or this week I'm going to do this instead. Like I appreciate that about you because it's easier as your leader to kind of talk you through that. So anyone that's on here that like, I mean, we have days like that. But before you reach out to someone in your sideline, downline, upline, think, okay, like here's the problem and this is what I'm going to do to fix it, because you'll already feel better by the time you even tell someone else, just to have that plan and then to have that extra accountability. So just wanted to share that. I appreciate that about you. Okay, thanks, friend. I'm excited to see you hit diamond this month. Okay, so last but definitely not least, I'm so excited to hear from Vivian. You guys give her a shout out in the chat because she is so awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear. All right, friend, tell us when you joined and why.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vivian. I joined, like, I've been in the business probably about a little over 2 years. And I initially joined because I wanted to come home to my daughter. She was like a year. I had just freshly put her in daycare. And I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I ended up coming home to her, like, you know, it happened on its own. So when I first joined, I honestly didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was like, what? I don't even know. Like, okay. So it took me a while to like kind of get the hang of things. And then I would get the hang of things and then I would just like stop. And then, and I always like still posted. I was really always good at consistently posting, but I just had a bad habit of like, well, I'm just gonna wait for people to reach out to me. I'm not gonna reach out to anybody. And I think that was just me being like uncomfortable. And it took me a while to be like, okay, stop being uncomfortable and just, you're gonna be uncomfortable, but just do it. And then I just was like, you know what? Like, I love doing this. I don't want to stop doing it. So I just like, I kept on and I kept on. And then it wasn't until like this past year, a little bit later of last year, I was like, I need to stop playing and like, just do the thing. Like, you keep talking and like, okay, you want this, you want that, but you need to put in the action to get to where you want to be. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to keep going.
I love it so much. I'm like super inspired by you just like sticking it out over 2 years. Like you just, because did you hit executive this year too, right? Did you hit?
Yes.
Yeah, because you hit executive and then Ruby. So you guys, like that is such like belief in the company and just like, I mean, I love that your story is the way it is because honestly, I feel like your story is more realistic for most people. Like the people that promote really, really fast, they're highlighted a lot of times. And like the other girl saying, like, you can't get in the comparison trap. We tend to compare ourselves to like the 2 people that skyrocket through the company and not realize that a lot of us are just on our own journey and figuring it out on our own time and just having to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I love it. And I think Host to Post has probably helped you quite a bit. If I had to guess, you're doing Host to Post also. But I know that like as far as being uncomfortable, that's another thing that I think our company has. Like we don't have to just cold message people. Like we're offering them an option to win an amazing thing by helping us open into their network, and we don't have to reach out to people that aren't interested. Like we're truly messaging people that want what we have. So I think that makes, you know, the whole system a little bit easier. Okay, so now that you've hit executive and Ruby, what's your goal for the rest of the year?
Diamond. I would love to get to diamond. I think like right now with everything going on, like, you know, a lot of people's jobs aren't like, you know, like they're kind of at this point, it makes you feel like they're not guaranteed. And so like my husband, yes, like he's a hard worker and, you know, he brings in majority of most of like, you know, the money and things like that. But I don't want him to be like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, so I want to be able to be like, okay, like we have this, I can, you know, take care of this. And I just don't want him. I mean, he's already stressed as it is, you know, with everything at his job and like what, you know, just with everything in the world. I don't want him to even come home and be like, we don't know what we're going to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I love it. Okay. So, for everyone watching, share a tip. And if there's anything specific that, you know, to be in for 2 years and then to all of a sudden make like the shift, like, cause it's not like you just started enrolling a couple people, like you had a killer month last month. Like, was there anything specific that you changed as far as the type of work that you were putting in? And then any other tip that you want to share tonight?
Who, me?
Yeah, girl. Share.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know my daughter's also like asking me questions. I was like, what?
No, you're good. Just share it with everyone.
For me, what's worked for me is one, like find what works for you. And I think it's very important to like, yes, there's tips and there's trainings, but work it to how you want to work it and what works for you, because what might work for Alyssa might not work for me. What might work for somebody else might not work for me. So I know how and then after a while when I'm like, okay, I need to switch it up. Let me see what somebody else, let me follow this. Let me, you know, it's about figuring out what works best for you. And honestly too, like lives, like my lives literally kind of like help me. I know it's kind of scary and I get scared and nervous all the time every time I do lives, but I get like you know, people in my inbox, like they're like, hey, like I saw your live and it made me like, what is that? Or you were so in depth about this, like I want to order this. And y'all, like if you see my lives, my lives are pretty crazy. They're like hot messes and my daughter's in the back, I'm spilling things, it's crazy. But I mean, it's me, and I think that's what people are like, well, it's her being her. And then yeah, just not giving up. Because I think if I would have given up a while back, I wouldn't be sitting here telling y'all that I finally, you know, I hit Ruby and it's Ruby and above and Ruby and above and beyond now at this point.
I love it. I'm so proud of you and thankful that you also stuck around and have finally like found what's working for you. And it's been just like a joy to watch you and to watch other girls on the team just be so pumped for you, which is fun too, like to see you winning. I know that there's a lot of people cheering you on and sharing in the chat. So that's it for tonight, you guys. I know the Sunday night call is probably about to start if it hasn't already, so you guys can pop up over there. For everyone that shared tonight, I'm so thankful for you, so proud of you guys. If you guys didn't get to share tonight and you promoted last month, we will do our best to have you on soon. It's a good problem to have lots of promotions and people to highlight, but appreciate you guys for jumping on, and we'll see you on the Sunday night call.